Hey guys, so this is going to be the conclusion to the tournament, and as you guys may have seen throughout the whole tournament, it wasn't really what we wanted, but we were grateful and we were lucky enough to actually get it started. So what was your conclusion on this?
Yeah, so it was kind of an emotional roller coaster. At first, we started off with 3 people, and the next day we had 4 people. For a week, we had 4 people, and that week it was perfect. Everything was going good. Everybody showed up, and we had everything good, everything planned. And after that week, one person quit, and people stopped showing up, and then so the people weren't training enough. And there's some weeks that like we were training one day and like that's it. And even today, the actual sparring day, and when we first got here, we only had one person that was gonna fight. So we had to go look for people, and luckily the people that were training, they showed up.
When we started the tournament, even though I'm gonna sound like a broken record right here, a month is not enough to have fighters or to have a sparring match that looks kind of, semi-professional or professional. You need more than a month to be able to spar at a good, high level, and to be able to look more balanced, with leaner, corrected punches that actually look crisp. And it's hard to create those types of bouts with fighters that you've only been training for a month. And plus, what makes it even harder is when those fighters don't even show up. So now you don't even have months, you have weeks to work with people. For us, it's kind of frustrating as well, because we're here mostly every day, training or trying to help people develop their skills, and if they're not here, they don't take advantage of it. What could we do? We can't really force anybody to be here.
Although it's frustrating for us, they're the ones that are getting punished, because they're the ones that are going to fight, and they're the ones that are not going to perform at their peak performance, and they're the ones that are going to get beat up, you're going to get hit, and that could have been prevented if they would have showed up for the full month instead of showing up half for 2 weeks or whatever time they showed up. So it was really kind of, it sucked for us, because we're the coaches and we want them to win. It's also they're the ones that they're getting punished for it, because they're the ones getting punched. They're the ones they're the ones being tired during the middle of the fight.
Some of you guys may have like problems with us, because I've seen some comments that were kind of suggesting for us to have gloves that were evenly matched. Look guys, we do not have the most valuable resources. We don't have a lot of money. We actually try to give everybody gloves that were the same size or whatever, but they weren't really that well made, so that was kind of difficult for us.
Basically just working what we had with the gloves. We had them, they're unequal. We're just using what we had. In the venue, the ring, which is a makeshift ring, we put some trash cans together, a fire pit, some string, some rope, and made a square. So we're just working what we got, and that's like kind of what our channel is built on. We told you guys that we're gonna make content for the poor boxer, and that's basically what we had. We had some rope, trash can, fire pit, a post, and we made a ring. So basically what you could get from us is saying it's no excuses. We did it with minimal resources, and we were to I guess it was pretty successful. I would say it was pretty, besides other people dropping out, I would say it was a success for the first time doing it.
For the first time doing it, here we are criticizing ourselves pretty hard. There's no need for you guys, to bash these guys. If you guys really want to bash these guys, you guys can bash us first, because we were in charge of this whole thing. But besides just bashing on us, man, there was a lot of good aspects to this tournament as well. We got to work with people we never really worked with before, and we got to meet new people.
In the first match, Brian versus Jose, and you saw how Jose had the upper hand, like it's technically, but his cardio and his conditioning wasn't there, so he kind of had to forfeit the match. And he was stylistically perfect for Brian's style, so he was beating him technically, but his conditioning wasn't. It's not that his heart wasn't there, but his conditioning wasn't there. And Brian became the most. Brian was the second most committed, and he's the one that won the tournament. So that just shows you, it's common sense. If you show up and you work, the results pay off. He won, and then. Giovanni, who's like our late replacement, who trained with us for one day, and we didn't have plans for him to be in the tournament. He was the one who kind of took second place, because Jose forfeited the match against him, so things got to win for him. So he moved up and fought Brian, and that was a closely contested fight for the first 2 rounds. And at the end of the day, again, his condition wasn't there, because he wasn't planning to fight. So Brian was able to win the tournament.
That's pretty much a good breakdown. I'm not really gonna get into more detail with that. That really shows if you do the work, if you do the time, you're gonna do things right. The sparring doesn't look that good, but if you guys really break it down, even closely, there are some things that we've actually taught these guys, and they actually applied it into the sparring match. For example, Brian did a lot of bobbing, weaving. I know when I had him like the first few days, we touched on that a little bit. These guys also picked up a bunch of things. They gave us the opportunity to actually work as well. It's not just always about them showing up, but it's also about like them putting in the work. Because you could show up to anything, but if you don't do the work, if you don't do the time, if you don't really bother to actually open yourselves to these new ideas and these new concepts, and new skills, then what's the point, man, of showing up?
Kind of to touch on Brian, the only fighter my only fighter that showed up today, because I know our main fighter who showed up every day. He, ironically, showed up every day of training and didn't show up the last day of the actual fight. But Brian, I can see that the first fight against Jose, he was angry with himself because I guess he was losing that fight. And although he won the fight, technically, he was behind on the scoreboard, and you saw, I guess, that lit a fire under his ass. And then the second fight, it was a different Brian. He was moving me more, he was listening to me more, and he was moving around. He looked like I guess he looked more motivated that second fight. You saw him moving around, you saw him kind of bobbing and weaving more. He wasn't just a sitting duck and just getting punched. He was actually he was listening to me. He was using what I taught him, what we taught him, the moving, the bobbing and weaving. He was pivoting and more. So, I guess he was like the fighter of the tournament, because he's the one that he developed the most, and we saw, I guess, most put in for him in the actual sparring day.
We didn't really expect a whole lot. It was better than last year. Last year we didn't even get the opportunity to get this far into this stage of the tournament. We didn't even get to start the tournament at all. Just the fact that we were able to work and actually be here, connect to people, and teach them new concepts, break down philosophies that we've had on the actual sport. I think that was great. If the sparring doesn't look good to a lot of you guys, I know there's gonna be a lot of critics. Critics never fail to show up. It's just a month training, man. There's not really there's not much you can do in a month. When I'm legitimately training people, usually in a month we're just learning either jabs and footwork, and that's about it. For a month, I think these guys did pretty good.
And if those people kind of, I guess, talking bad or hating, they're saying that a month is good enough to get practice and to get a condition. That's for you, because you already know how to fight, and a month is just polishing your techniques and your strikes. A month is not enough to prepare, especially if you know zero. If you're going from zero to you're preparing for a fight, it's kind of a lot to put in that month. And like you were saying, you start with the basics of the jab and the footwork, and that month you kind of had to cram a bunch of stuff, pivoting, head movement, a bunch of more advanced stuff that you work on a few months into your training life, your training career. So we had to cram a bunch of technique in 1 month, or a few weeks actually. It wasn't really a month. No one here actually trained for the full month. So for a couple of weeks, I think they performed well.
It is what it is, man, and we were done. So that's all I can say. I was just grateful to work with these guys, and hopefully next year we get something better, man. I would honestly want to have maybe add one more week, and maybe add more people on the team, or maybe clean it up a little bit and maybe have people train before we actually just start working on the tournament, and then in the tournament itself we could just pretty much sharpen up skills. So this is our first year, and maybe you guys don't like it and it fails and it flops and we do something else next year.
I think it's ironic because leading up to this tournament we had zero promotion, like nothing. We had zero videos. Maybe some vlogs that kind of hinted at the tournament, but compared to last year we had like a bunch of videos. We were super hyped about it, and we went out to the streets to put posters up. I just think it's ironic that last year we had a bunch of promotion, a lot of push for it, with flopped, and this time we had zero promotion, and it was pretty successful.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this tournament. If you guys didn't, nothing we could do about it. The videos are up. There's probably going to be a playlist of the whole tournament itself. I think there's going to be 8 or 9 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. I just want to thank Louis here for actually being here the whole month. For my brother for taking over the camera, the referee, my cousin Pedro Luis. Go check out his music. I'll leave his channel down below. Just want to thank those people, and for the audience.
Thank John Varela, who was supposed to be a judge, but he was here to be a judge, but unfortunately the fights played out where he didn't have to work, but he was here to work.
Subscribe to the E1 team. Hit that notification bell. That way you guys are notified every time we upload a new video.